Hello friends and welcome to my channel Iballdesigningdeveloper. So like you all know that previously we have started a new series of C++ and I hope you enjoyed all the tutorials which we have covered up yet in this series. So previously on we have covered up many things like I have told you about strings, then data types, and we have also learned about operators in C++. But now in this video I will be telling you that what is memory address, because like you all know that previously on we have learned about references, in which we have just learned that what are reference variables, how you can create a reference variable, like that all. So in this video I'll be telling you about memory address, like what is memory address in C++, what are the elements you have to use when you're starting with this thing here in C++. So this video will be really amazing and I hope you'll be enjoying things from this video and you will be learning things as well. So if you learn things from this video and if you enjoy this video, so remember to hit a like to this video, and if you're new on this channel, want to see more videos like that, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing hit notification bell so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I will be uploading in future. So now what we are waiting for, let's move to computer screen and let's get started. So now here we are on the computer screen, and like I've told you in the start that today in this video I will be telling you that what is memory address in C++, because already we have learned about references, and I think reference is also the same thing like memory address. But thing is that in memory address we are using different variables and different, like you can say data type, you can just say that, but it's not called a data type basically, but you can say that we can use a data type, but it will be a different data type from the reference variable which we have used with the structures. So if we talk about the example, in the example from the previous page, the AND operator was used to create a reference variable, means like when we were creating reference variable, so for that obviously we are using an AND operator. So but it can also be used to get the memory address of a variable, means you can use the same operator, means this AND operator, to get the memory address of a variable. Means when we are working with memory address, we just don't create any tag of memory address. Means if I want to get a memory address of a variable, of a reference variable, of a string, of a data type, so I will be using this AND operator there, which is really important if you want to get any memory address of a variable, which is the location of where the variable is stored on the computer. Means memory address will be giving the location of the variable where it is stored on the computer or on the file. When a variable is created in C++, a memory address is assigned to the variable, and when we assign a value to the variable, it is stored in this memory address. Simply it is just saying when you create any variable, like it can be any variable, string, data type, it can be anything. Like when you create any variable in C++ in summary, so a memory address is automatically assigned to the variable, and when we assign a value to the variable, it is normally stored in the memory address. So to access the memory address, you need to use this AND operator, and the result will represent where the variable is stored. Means if I want to see what is the memory address of a reference variable which I have created, so for that I have to use this AND operator, and automatically the result will represent that where my variable is stored. So if I'm creating this string or if I'm creating this reference variable, so for that I need to use this AND operator with the string name so that I can get the output as my memory address in my terminal or in my console. And if you see this note, so it says that the memory address is in hexadecimal form, means it will be showing you the memory address in hexadecimal form. And note that you may not get the same result in your program, means it is not necessary to get the same result here like I will be getting. So you can get different memory address of your computer, because it not depends on the same language, it depends on your computer that in what memory like the computer is storing, or in what decimal your computer is storing the variable memory address. So that's why you can have a different result as well in your computer if you're running the thing. And it also depends on the, you can say, text editor. Like if I'm using Replit, so I'm getting different output as my hexadecimal form. If I'm using VS Code with C++, so I will be getting a different, you can say, output in my VS Code. So if we just learn about this thing, like if we read this thing, so what is written is that, and why is it useful to know the memory address? References and pointers, which you will learn about in the next chapter, are important in C++ because they give you the ability to manipulate the data in computer's memory, which can reduce the code and improve the performance. These two features are one of the things that make C++ stand out from other programming languages like Python and Java. So these things are like about references and pointer. Means if I'm using memory address, obviously I need to use reference and pointer as well, because if I'm not using, so how I can get the memory address of that? So it is just saying we will be learning about in the next videos about references and pointers. So if you will be learning about these things, so it will give you more ability to manipulate the data in your computer's memory. And when we are manipulating the data in computer memory, so we want to get the memory address as well, or if you want to see the memory address, you can use AND operator and you can just get the output, or you can just get the result of the memory address, that what memory address you are getting in your output. So simply same thing is that. So what I'm going to do is I'll be moving on to my Google Chrome here, and I will be opening my Replit ID. After opening this Replit ID, I will be just moving on to my REPL, which I have used in previous videos. Then I will be just moving here, and then I'll be changing the name, and here I will be writing the name as memory address. So I'll be writing memory address like this, and I'll be writing in C++. Press enter. After doing this thing, you can just see we are getting this REPL running, and after running this REPL, you need to just remove all the things which you have added previously, because right now we will be not working with old things which we have added. So I'll be adding all new things here which we have already copied from our file. So now you can just see it is running. What I'm going to do is now I'll be writing include IOStream like this, and here I will be just moving down, and then you have to just create another tag which is called using namespace std. Then move down and write here init main, make parenthesis and write curly brackets, move down. You can also just not give the space if you want. Then paste all the things which we have copied, but I think these the things. So I'll be moving on here again. So I'll be copying this thing here, or you can write it as well, because these are only two things which we are printing here. Now here I have given the name to my string or to my reference variable as food. So that's why I'm writing with this AND operator as food, so that I can get the output as this value, because now this is my memory address in which I have stored this string. So now I will be running this. After running, you can just see we are getting this output, but you can see this is a different output, like we are getting output here like this. But if we see output here, so it's a different output. Why we are getting a different output? Because I have told you previously that when you are printing anything with the same, like when you're printing anything with the same things which I have added, so you can also get the same output. It is not necessary to get the same output as I am getting. You can also get a different output like I am getting from this. So that's why we are getting the output, because now computer is storing this data, means this string or this reference variable, as a memory address, but in a different memory address every time. Like if I run it again, so you can just see again we are getting a different output here. So when I'm running it again and again, we are getting the same thing running again and again, and we are also getting the same output again and again. Sorry, different output again and again. If I run it again, so you can just see different output again, so different output again, different output, means when you will be running this thing, you will be getting different output again and again, because now your computer is storing this reference variable as a memory address, and memory address changes every time. So that's why when I'm running same output again and again, I'm getting different output here. So you can just see same code but different outputs every time when I'm running. You can just see, and you can use any of the operator, or you can use any of the string name. It's not necessary to use only the same name, like I am using food, so you have to also use food. You can use different names of your strings if you want to use. Like if I'm writing here the string name as pizza, so you can change it to anything, but obviously when you will be writing anything here, it will be not running, because we need to get the memory address. So that's why we are only getting the memory address in the output. If you want this thing to be printed, so you have to just print here normally string value, but now we are using AND operator with the reference variable name or with the variable name. So that's why we are getting this method address running, or you can say memory address running. So I hope you understand that how we can use memory address in C++ and how we are getting the output as memory address running every time with a different value. So if you have enjoyed this video and if you understand that how we can get the output as memory address every time, so remember to hit a like to this video, and if you're new on this channel, want to see more videos like that, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing, hit notification bell so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I will be uploading in future. So remember to check out my all the previous videos as well, which I have uploaded in the C++ tutorial series, so you can learn about that videos as well. So you will be having a more mindset about that, how we can start with C++, how we can cover up different things in this language. So just I'll be meeting you next project or in next tutorial video of C++. So for today, goodbye.